More than 20 states in the country now restrict abortion or ban it entirely, leaving survivors of rape and incest behind with few options to help themselves. Our next guest is also a survivor, and she's sharing her story with the world in a powerful new ad for the Harris campaign.
I've never slept a full night in my entire life. I was 5 years old when my stepfather abused me for the first time. I just felt like I was alone on a planet with a monster. I was 12 when he impregnated me. I just remember thinking, I have to get out of my skin. I can't be me right now. Like, this can't be it. I didn't know what to do. I was a child. I didn't know what it meant to be pregnant at all. But I had options. Because Donald Trump overturned Roe v. Wade, girls and women all over the country have lost the right to choose, even for rape or incest. Donald Trump did this. He took away our freedom.
Hadley Duvall joins me now. She's a reproductive rights advocate and a Harris campaign surrogate. You are one extraordinarily brave woman, Hadley. Why did you decide to share your experience with the world?
The day after Roe v. Wade was overturned, I, woke up with the harsh reality of I might have survived my trauma, but my story isn't over. And no matter what, I'll always be a survivor. And I just couldn't imagine what those little girls and women were going through who don't have the options.
What would your life look like today if you didn't have Roe when you were 12?
I could potentially have a 10-year-old of my stepfather who raped me, and that is just so unimaginable. I truly don't think I would be here today. And I say that in so much honesty. And, I'm truly living a life that I used to pray for. And that's just kind of why I feel like I have to speak up for the voiceless.
I want to share something with you that Rosie Perez said to our colleague Nicole Wallace a few days ago on this very subject. Watch this.
You think about Republicans saying, well, I'm worried about my money. You should be worried about your money. Because if that man goes into office, who's going to pick up the tab? You don't like paying for welfare now? Honey, just wait.
Who will pick up the tab if women and girls who are unprepared, who are unable, are forced to carry pregnancies they cannot afford?
Well, definitely not the men. The women and the girls pick up that tab, just like always. And just like we are now fighting for reproductive freedom, there are women who are dying because of this. And there are still people who will try to say, no, there's not. And that is just so unimaginable to think that those families are sitting at home knowing that this is causing death. And, they don't want that to happen to anybody else. Nobody wants this. And to know that there is still such a negative look on women because we want our freedom and we want our rights is really so sad. And we would be the ones left paying the tab.
Do Republicans ever address the complicated consequences of these bans? Young girls who might lose their housing, might have to leave school, might not be able to work, leaving them no way to support or take care of themselves or possibly their new babies. Did Republicans ever talk about who's going to care for them in that way? Who would have cared for you when you were 12 and 13 years old? Where would you have gone?
If I would have had somewhere to go, I would have went there. And, that's what Republicans, and not even Republicans, it's not about what party you're in. It's MAGA. And it's just so heartbreaking because, it's not as simple as, oh, fight at the state level. I tried. And the Kentucky legislature, they held a bill, they stalled it, and they chose not to hear me out. How heartbreaking. And so, maybe they'll hear me at the national level. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. A lot of people in Kentucky did hear you. Right? You were put on the stage because you were in an ad for current Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, a Democrat, who Republicans in your state say he won his race thanks to your contribution. How does it feel to know that your bravery has made this kind of a difference? You just said to me, I tried on the state level and I couldn't help. You damn well did.
I got through to the residents of Kentucky. I got through to the voters, but I couldn't get through to the Republicans who had the power to implement those exceptions for rape and incest. Because right now in Kentucky, there are survivors of rape and incest carrying pregnancies to term with no options. And that's because they would not hear a bill out to add those exceptions. And, you know, so being able to now speak out so loudly, and just so those young girls and women know that they're not without a fighter, because I'll always be fighting for them.